It's not every day that a single photograph can ignite a firestorm of debate, admiration, and disbelief, but that's exactly what happened when recent images of Linda Evans, now 82 years old, surfaced online. Once one of the most iconic faces of television in the 80s, best known for her role as Crystal Carrington on Dynasty, Linda has long stepped away from the spotlight. Yet, all it took was a quiet public appearance and a few candid snapshots for her to dominate headlines and social media feeds once again. The photos sparked an outpouring of stunned reactions. Some fans were awestruck by her elegance and poise at 82, calling her an icon of aging gracefully. Others weren't so kind. Accusations of critically harsh comments were quickly followed, as the internet did what it does best: speculate and criticize. But beneath the surface of praise and controversy lies a deeper story. Linda Evans has never played by Hollywood's rules, not in her prime, and certainly not now. In a world that constantly tells women to fight aging at all costs, her reappearance raises questions not just about beauty, but about how we value older women in the public eye. Is Linda Evans rewriting the narrative or just refusing to play the game altogether? Linda Evans' rise to fame as Audra Barkley. Linda Evans may be best known for her glamorous reign on Dynasty, but her story began decades earlier in an entirely different world, far from the glitz and drama of 1980s primetime television. Her journey through the American entertainment industry didn't start at the top. It began with small steps, quiet determination, and a path that was both traditional and surprisingly bold for a young woman in mid-20th century America. Linda was born as Linda Evenstad on November 18, 1942, in Hartford, Connecticut. Her birth name reflected her Norwegian roots, a heritage she's always carried with quiet pride. Like many families in post-war America, hers would eventually move westward in search of new opportunities and a different kind of life. In the 1950s, Linda's family relocated to North Hollywood, California, a place rapidly transforming into a breeding ground for television stars and future Hollywood legends. At the time, television was just beginning to emerge as a dominant force in American culture, and for a young girl attending Hollywood High School, the proximity to that world opened doors that many could only dream about. Hollywood High was no ordinary school. Nestled in the heart of the entertainment capital, its halls were filled with students whose families worked in film and television, and many would go on to become stars themselves. For Linda, it was a place of inspiration. Though she was naturally shy and introverted, acting classes at school helped her break out of her shell and gave her a glimpse of what might be possible beyond the classroom walls. In the early 1960s, Linda Evans began to make her first real inroads into the entertainment industry. She landed small parts on popular television shows of the time, often the type of roles given to aspiring young actresses looking to get their foot in the door. Among her earliest appearances were episodes of Bachelor Father and The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, both well-known series in that era. These roles may have been brief, but they were critical. Each one offered Linda valuable experience on camera, exposure to the inner workings of television production, and, perhaps most importantly, credibility. These early performances gave casting directors a chance to see her potential, and it wasn't long before that potential turned into something more substantial. That breakthrough came in 1965, when Linda Evans was cast as Audra Barkley on The Big Valley. The role would prove to be the most defining of her early career, transforming her from an unknown actress into a nationally recognized television star. The Big Valley was a Western drama series that aired from 1965 to 1969, set in 19th century California and centered on the wealthy Barkley family. Linda played the only daughter, Audra, a character who stood out for her strength, independence, and intelligence. Audra wasn't just a pretty face in a corset. She was a young woman who held her own in a male-dominated environment, which mirrored, in some ways, Linda's real-life experience in the entertainment industry. Playing Audra Barkley gave Linda Evans something many actresses struggled to find at the time: a role with depth. While she was certainly admired for her looks, blonde, poised, and classically beautiful, it was her ability to bring sincerity and subtlety to her character that won over audiences. She wasn't over the top. She didn't play for drama. Instead, her portrayal of Audra was rooted in authenticity, and it resonated. The series itself was a success. It earned strong ratings and developed a loyal fan base over its 4-year run. And while the show starred established actors like Barbara Stanwyck, one of the era's great icons, Linda Evans held her own among them. In fact, working with Stanwyck was, by many accounts, a formative experience for her. The two developed a mutual respect, and Linda later credited Stanwyck as a mentor who taught her professionalism, work ethic, and the importance of staying grounded despite fame. By the end of the Big Valley's run in 1969, Linda Evans was no longer just another aspiring actress with bit parts in sitcoms. She was a household name with a growing reputation for grace and talent. And though the next decade would see her evolve even further, with more complex roles and a new wave of stardom, those early years laid the essential groundwork, overcoming divorce and finding stardom as Crystal Carrington on Dynasty. In the 1970s, Linda Evans's life took a dramatic turn. After establishing herself as a promising actress in the 1960s, she moved into a new phase, one that was marked not only by personal transitions, but by significant public scrutiny. Her marriage to actor and director John Derek in 1972 would be a pivotal moment in her journey. This relationship, however, would not last, and the events that followed became part of Hollywood history. Linda's marriage to John Derek was one of the major personal milestones of her early career. At the time, Derek was an established actor, and the marriage seemed like a natural union between two people in the industry. However, in 1974, their relationship ended in a highly publicized divorce when John Derek left Linda for 16-year-old actress Bo Derek, who would later become famous for her role in 10. This scandal shocked the public and cast a long shadow over Linda's personal life. It was widely covered in the media, and many saw Derek's actions as a deep betrayal. The relationship that had once seemed promising now became a painful chapter in Linda's life. What set Linda apart, however, was her ability to handle the situation with grace and dignity. Despite the very public nature of the betrayal, she did not lash out or respond with bitterness. Instead, she quietly focused on her work and moved forward. Over time, her handling of the scandal won her public sympathy, and many admired her ability to rise above the drama. While the divorce certainly had an emotional impact, Linda's strength during this time helped to solidify her reputation as a poised, resilient figure in Hollywood. While the divorce marked a challenging period in Linda's life, her career did not come to a halt. In fact, during the 1970s, Linda continued to work in television, though her roles were primarily in TV, movies, and miniseries. Despite this, her career slowed down compared to the explosive success of the 1960s. However, the 1980s would see Linda's career take a major turn for the better. The 1980s introduced Linda Evans to a wider international audience, and the 1981 launch of Dynasty would become the cornerstone of her career. The show, which aired from 1981 to 1989, was a cultural phenomenon. Set in the world of the wealthy and powerful Carrington family, Dynasty was a dramatic, glamorous, and often outrageous soap opera that captured the public's imagination. Linda was cast as Crystal Carrington, the wife of wealthy oil tycoon Blake Carrington, played by John Forsythe. Crystal was portrayed as a kind-hearted, strong, and sophisticated woman caught in the chaos of the Carrington family's wealth, power struggles, and endless intrigue. Linda Evans's portrayal of Crystal Carrington quickly made her a household name. She became not just an actress, but an international star. Her character was the moral compass of the series, which resonated with audiences who loved the combination of strength and vulnerability she brought to the role. Her portrayal of Crystal also made her a fashion icon. The glamorous costumes, paired with her timeless beauty, cemented Linda as a symbol of 1980s elegance and style. The success of Dynasty brought Linda Evans an immense amount of recognition. The series made her a fixture in pop culture, and she became synonymous with the high society drama that defined the show. Her iconic looks, marked by elegant gowns, big hair, and dramatic storylines, became a hallmark of the 1980s television landscape. But Linda was not just about fashion and fame. She showcased real acting talent, moving beyond a simple soap opera character to a role that displayed depth and emotional range. Linda's work on Dynasty was not only well received by audiences, it earned her critical acclaim as well. In 1982, she won a Golden Globe Award for Best Actress in a television series drama for her portrayal of Crystal Carrington. The win was a testament to her acting skills and to her ability to hold her own in a competitive, male-dominated industry. In addition to the Golden Globe, Linda also won several People's Choice Awards, solidifying her popularity and cementing her place in Hollywood's elite. While Dynasty brought her fame and accolades, it also came with the challenges of being on a long-running, highly publicized television show. As the series went on, Linda found herself grappling with the pressures of being constantly in the public eye. The intense scrutiny of her personal and professional life continued as she became one of the most recognized women in entertainment at the time. Despite the pressures, Linda seemed to handle the attention with a calm demeanor, maintaining her professionalism and commitment to her craft. For Linda Evans, the 1980s marked a period of peak fame, where she became a global star known for her role as Crystal Carrington on Dynasty. But this was not just a time of success. It was also a time of reflection and personal growth. Her journey through the 1970s, filled with personal challenges, set the stage for her later triumphs. The lessons she learned during that tumultuous decade would guide her as she navigated the fame and attention that came with Dynasty's success. Linda Evans opens up about rivalry, rumors with Joan Collins, and plastic surgery speculation. Linda Evans, a beloved actress who captivated audiences worldwide with her role as Crystal Carrington on Dynasty, has had her career and personal life scrutinized by the public for decades. While she is undoubtedly remembered for her talent and success, her journey has not been without its share of controversies. Let's take a deeper dive into two of the most significant issues that have surrounded her. The rivalry rumors with her Dynasty co-star Joan Collins, and the ongoing speculation regarding her plastic surgery. The first major controversy began during the 1980s, as Linda Evans starred in the hit TV show Dynasty, which became one of the most iconic soap operas of all time. The rivalry between the characters of Crystal Carrington, played by Evans, and Alexis Carrington, portrayed by Joan Collins, was central to the drama of the show. The two women were involved in numerous dramatic catfights, which became a trademark of the show's allure. These heated battles captured the imaginations of viewers, and the rivalry became the fuel for many tabloid headlines and media discussions. As the show's popularity soared, the media began to speculate about whether the rivalry on screen extended to real life. It wasn't long before rumors started circulating that Linda Evans and Joan Collins did not get along off camera, with reports suggesting that the two women were locked in a bitter feud. Some fans and tabloids believed that the tension between the two actresses mirrored the dramatic rivalry between their characters. The media often sensationalized their relationship, casting doubt on their ability to coexist peacefully, much to the delight of the press, who capitalized on the drama. For years, Linda Evans remained tight-lipped about these rumors, neither confirming nor denying the speculation. However, as time went on, she started addressing the issue more directly. In interviews, she revealed that there was no animosity between her and Joan Collins off-screen, and much of the rivalry had been exaggerated by the media. In fact, both actresses have since spoken highly of each other, with Joan Collins even praising Evans for her professionalism and work ethic on set. Despite the tabloids' attempts to create division, Evans and Collins have consistently maintained that their personal relationship was cordial, and the drama that played out between their characters was purely fictional. The rivalry rumors between Evans and Collins highlight the way the media can manipulate a public perception, turning friendly colleagues into supposed enemies for the sake of generating headlines. This controversy, which was fueled by sensationalist reporting, ultimately became a part of Linda Evans' legacy, despite it not being a true reflection of her relationship with Collins. In retrospect, the public's fascination with their rivalry speaks more to the power of storytelling in shaping how we perceive the real lives of celebrities. Moving on to another aspect of Linda Evans' life that has been heavily scrutinized: plastic surgery. Over the years, the actress faced a constant barrage of questions and speculation about whether she had undergone cosmetic procedures to maintain her youthful appearance. The pressure on women in Hollywood to look young and beautiful has long been a subject of discussion, and Evans was not immune to it. As she aged, her appearance remained strikingly youthful, leading many to wonder if she had turned to plastic surgery to preserve her looks. While it is common for Hollywood stars to face these kinds of invasive questions, Linda Evans was particularly targeted by the media. She was often compared to other actresses in her age group, and her appearance was a frequent topic of conversation in tabloid magazines and gossip columns. Many fans speculated that she had undergone a facelift or other cosmetic procedures to maintain her looks, as she seemed to defy the natural signs of aging. In response to these rumors, Linda Evans was transparent about her experience with plastic surgery. She later admitted to having had procedures done, including facelifts and Botox, but also expressed her criticism of the pressure that Hollywood places on women to stay youthful. Evans spoke candidly about how difficult it was to navigate the entertainment industry as a woman growing older, where there was an unspoken expectation to maintain a certain appearance. She revealed that she had undergone cosmetic procedures not out of vanity, but rather because of the immense pressure to fit into Hollywood's rigid standards of beauty. However, Linda Evans was also critical of how plastic surgery had become normalized in the industry. She talked about how young women in Hollywood often felt that they needed to undergo surgery to secure roles and remain relevant. Evans used her platform to speak out about the dangers of this culture, encouraging others to embrace aging gracefully and not to feel pressured to conform to unrealistic beauty standards. Fitness, spirituality, and her quiet retreat from Hollywood. In the early 1990s, Linda Evans took a significant step back from the limelight, stepping away from her successful acting career to focus on personal growth and spiritual exploration. While fans were accustomed to seeing her as a glamorous and dramatic icon on screen, the 1990s marked a more introspective chapter in her life. In 1991, after years of success and fame, Linda Evans made the surprising decision to retire from acting. The move came at a time when she was at the height of her popularity, especially after her iconic role as Crystal Carrington in Dynasty. The decision was met with curiosity from fans and the media, as it was unusual for an actress at the peak of her career to step away so suddenly. However, Evans had her reasons. The fame and pressures of Hollywood had taken a toll on her, and she was seeking something deeper. She moved to the Pacific Northwest, where she could enjoy a quieter life away from the paparazzi and the hectic world of television. The lush, serene surroundings provided her with the peace she craved. During this period, Evans embarked on a journey of self-discovery and embraced new ventures that took her away from acting. One of the major decisions she made was to open Linda Evans Fitness Centers. The center was meant to promote health and wellness, aligning with her own personal values of living a balanced and healthy life. Evans, who had always maintained a fit and toned physique, used her knowledge and passion for fitness to create a space where people could work on their well-being. Through her fitness centers, Evans sought to inspire others to live healthier lives, providing a way for individuals to focus on both their physical and mental health. But Evans's retreat into personal pursuits didn't stop at fitness. She also became heavily involved in spiritual exploration during this time. In 1991, she joined the Ramtha School of Enlightenment, a controversial spiritual organization led by J.Z. Knight. The school, which gained attention for its teachings on ancient wisdom and metaphysical subjects, attracted many people searching for deeper understanding and enlightenment. For Evans, it was a place to find new meaning in her life and explore concepts beyond what she had experienced in her career in Hollywood. Ramtha School of Enlightenment, known for its channeling of the spirit of an ancient warrior from Atlantis, is a school that teaches spiritual and metaphysical concepts. Under the guidance of J.Z. Knight, Evans and other students learned about self-empowerment, meditation, and the nature of existence. It was a way for Evans to tap into a new dimension of her life and cultivate a sense of spiritual peace that contrasted sharply with the fast-paced, often superficial world of show business. This period of withdrawal and spiritual exploration allowed Evans to reshape her identity. She stepped away from the pressures and expectations of Hollywood to focus on her well-being, both physically and spiritually. The media had often depicted her as a glamorous star, but during this time, Evans made it clear that she wanted to be more than just a famous face. Her focus on fitness and spirituality reflected her desire to live a meaningful life beyond her past roles and public persona. Although her retreat from acting in the early 1990s was seen as a dramatic shift, it wasn't the end of her connection with the entertainment industry. Rather, it was a reimagining of her role in the public eye. She was no longer just an actress or a celebrity. She was someone who sought fulfillment and purpose through different means. Her move to the Pacific Northwest and involvement in spiritual pursuits marked the beginning of a new chapter in her life, one that was more about inner growth than external recognition. The controversy behind her involvement with the Ramtha School of Enlightenment. Linda Evans's life took an unexpected turn in the 1990s when she became deeply involved in the Ramtha School of Enlightenment, a spiritual organization that has been widely criticized by some and embraced by others. While Evans's commitment to personal growth and spiritual exploration was a central part of her life during this period, it also led to controversy and public scrutiny. The Ramtha School of Enlightenment, founded by J.Z. Knight, claims to teach spiritual enlightenment through channeling an ancient warrior spirit named Ramtha. Knight, the leader of the school, teaches students about metaphysical concepts, ancient wisdom, and self-empowerment, with a focus on the idea of achieving enlightenment and higher consciousness. However, the organization has faced widespread criticism. Many critics have labeled the school a cult, claiming that its teachings are manipulative and its practices are controversial. Some former members have come forward with accusations, asserting that the school preyed on vulnerable individuals and led them down a path of spiritual exploitation. The backlash against the school was not something that went unnoticed, and Linda Evans's deep involvement with the group inevitably brought her into the spotlight. At the time, she had already become a beloved television star, famous for her role as Crystal Carrington in Dynasty. Fans knew Evans as a glamorous and poised actress, but her association with the Ramtha School of Enlightenment raised eyebrows. The media quickly pounced on her decision to embrace such an unconventional and polarizing spiritual belief system. Critics were quick to point out the stark contrast between her image as a popular television icon and her involvement in what many perceived to be a fringe or even dangerous belief system. The media's criticism was often harsh. Linda Evans, once admired for her poise and professionalism, was now being scrutinized for her spiritual journey. Some outlets framed her as out of touch or easily influenced, while others questioned her judgment in associating with an organization that was already embroiled in controversy. Given the nature of Hollywood and its often narrow view of what is deemed socially acceptable, Evans's decision to immerse herself in the teachings of J.Z. Knight and the Ramtha School stood in stark contrast to the expectations of her public image. Hollywood stars were typically expected to maintain an aura of glamour and sophistication, but Evans was stepping into a world that was far from the glitzy lights of Tinseltown. The Ramtha School's beliefs were far removed from the mainstream, and Evans' involvement only seemed to intensify the media's fascination with her. The more Evans embraced the teachings of the school, the more public curiosity grew. Fans and critics alike wanted to understand how someone like Linda Evans, who had once played a refined and calculating character on Dynasty, could align herself with a group that many people deemed a cult. Was this the same woman who had captivated millions of viewers as Crystal Carrington? The dissonance between her former glamorous persona and her newfound spiritual path left many wondering what was really going on behind the scenes. As the years went by, Linda Evans made fewer public appearances, further fueling speculation about her life and beliefs. Her retreat from the spotlight added an air of mystery to her journey. The actress who had once graced the television screens of millions now seemed to be seeking solace away from the media's prying eyes. She chose to remain private about her spiritual practices, rarely speaking publicly about her experiences with the Ramtha school. The few interviews she did give were carefully crafted, often sidestepping deeper questions about her involvement with the controversial group. In rare TV appearances and interviews, Evans would occasionally address her personal life, but her connection to the Ramtha school remained an elusive topic. For many years, she kept quiet about the details of her spiritual practices, but when she did speak on the matter, it was clear that her commitment to the school was significant. She would often describe the teachings of Ramtha as life-changing and essential to her personal growth, though she did not elaborate on the specifics of the group's practices. She defended her decision to join the school, even as it remained under heavy scrutiny. Linda Evans spoke about finding peace and balance in her life through the teachings, but she did not go into the specifics of the lessons that had so profoundly impacted her. Linda Evans, at 82. Fans stunned by her timeless beauty in latest photos. At 82 years old, Linda Evans is still stunning audiences, not just with her iconic looks from decades ago, but also with her continued elegance and presence. The actress, best known for her role as Crystal Carrington in the legendary television series Dynasty, has been the subject of much admiration, even more so after her latest public appearances. Recent photos of her have left fans stunned, as she remains as captivating as ever. Linda Evans' journey began in Hartford, Connecticut, where she was born on November 18, 1942. Raised in North Hollywood, California, she entered the world of acting in the early 1960s, making her debut in small roles on popular TV shows like Bachelor Father and The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet. By the mid-1960s, she had already begun to build her acting career, but it was her role as Audra Barkley on The Big Valley, 1965-1969, that truly catapulted her to fame. The show made her a household name, and she was quickly recognized for her poise and beauty. But it was the role of Crystal Carrington in Dynasty, which ran from 1981 to 1989, that sealed Linda Evans' status as a cultural icon. Her portrayal of the beautiful and strong-willed Carrington made her one of the most beloved actresses in television history. Dynasty was a massive success, running for 9 seasons and earning Evans multiple awards, including a Golden Globe for Best Actress in a TV series drama in 1982. Evans also won several People's Choice Awards, further solidifying her reputation in the entertainment world. Throughout the 1980s, Evans became known not only for her acting skills, but also for her fashionable wardrobe, which made her a fashion icon of the time. She worked alongside Joan Collins, playing her rival, Alexis Carrington, in one of television's most iconic catfights. This rivalry between the two characters fueled media interest and led to a real-life friendship and mutual respect between the actresses. Even though Evans' career was at its peak during this time, she eventually made the decision to step back from acting. In the early 1990s, after Dynasty ended, she quietly withdrew from the limelight and moved to the Pacific Northwest. In 1991, she retired from acting, opening Linda Evans Fitness Centers. Her focus shifted away from the industry, and she embraced a quieter, more private life. This retreat from Hollywood didn't mean Evans was entirely absent from the public eye, however. She continued to make rare TV appearances and take part in interviews. While fans missed seeing her on their screens, they also understood and respected her decision to prioritize her personal life. Linda Evans always maintained a sense of grace and dignity, which only added to her enduring appeal. As she entered her 70s and then her 80s, Evans began to resurface in the media occasionally, whether through interviews or public appearances. But the most recent stir has been around her latest photos, which have left fans in awe. At 82, she appears remarkably youthful, and many have commented on how she seems to have defied the typical aging process. While some have speculated about possible cosmetic procedures, Evans has been open about the pressures of aging in Hollywood and how she has made peace with her appearance. In interviews, she has discussed the toll that the entertainment industry can take on one's self-esteem, especially for women. "The business is tough on women," Evans once stated in an interview. "There's a lot of pressure to stay young, to stay relevant. But I think the key is finding peace with who you are. I've learned to love myself, no matter what age I am." In recent years, Linda Evans has shifted her focus to spirituality and personal growth. She has been involved in various wellness and mindfulness practices, which may contribute to her radiant demeanor. Her commitment to healthy living and fitness is also reflected in her long-standing dedication to exercise, as seen with her Linda Evans Fitness Centers, which she opened in the early 1990s. While she may no longer be as active in Hollywood, she has made it clear that her life is about finding balance, peace, and fulfillment in ways that go beyond public recognition. As for the photos that have caused such a stir online, Evans looks nothing short of stunning. Fans and former colleagues alike have taken to social media to express their admiration for the actress, noting that while time has passed, her charm and beauty have remained untouched. Some have commented, "It's like she hasn't aged a day," and "She's always had the kind of grace that never fades." One of Evans' longtime friends, actor John Forsythe, who starred alongside her in Dynasty as the patriarch Blake Carrington, once shared his admiration for her. "Linda is not just beautiful on the outside, but she's got a heart of gold. It shines through in everything she does." His words reflect what many who know Evans personally have said. Her beauty has always been a reflection of her inner qualities.